we're getting closer and closer to our 450,000th view over on there. In fact, we might even hit it by the end of this show. So keep on spreading the word, keep on liking, keep on viewing, keep on doing all that stuff. As always, let's take a look at the start of the show here to see how many subscribers we're starting at. We are at 1,560 subscribers at the start of this episode. So as always, if we get more subscribers as the show goes on, we will go into extra innings here on the show as well. So keep on inviting your friends to come over and like it over on YouTube. If you're not watching this show on YouTube, I do suggest going to go check it out on YouTube instead of Facebook, because it actually does help me out better. And of course, as always, tonight's show is sponsored by It's All About the Mouse Travel. Make sure you stop by It's All About the Mousetravel.com for all of your Disney travel needs. All of their services are absolutely, positively, 100% free. So make sure you book with them for your next Disney vacation. Also, while we're sitting here, don't forget to like and subscribe, whether you are on Facebook or if you are on YouTube. Make sure you give that button a like, and that way it alerts more and more people to come and join us here live, so we can all have more Disney fun and meet some more Disney friends as well. So let's get this party started. We are going to be doing an Ask the Expert segment. I am blown away because I looked today. Ask the Expert segment is hands down, without a doubt, one of my favorite things that we do here every single Wednesday, mainly due to the fact that I just like having it so we can talk about anything and everything Disney, and we can kind of go by your interests. So if you guys didn't already know, this entire Wednesday show, 668 weeks ago, it started off as just a simple question and answer. People were throwing different Disney questions at me. I was answering them. And then eventually this show evolved into what it is now, which is complete chaos, but fun chaos nonetheless. So I always love doing these shows and going back to it. But this is the longest stretch of time since we first started doing the Wednesday show that we've gone between Ask the Expert segments. Usually we do once a month. It has been over 2 months since our last one. So let's make this one count. Make sure you start throwing your questions in the comments about anything and everything Disney. This can be anything from what's your favorite attraction and why, to how on earth do those ghosts inside the Haunted Mansion work, to tell us which Disney cruise ship we should go on. Ask anything and everything about anything and everything when it comes to Disney, and we will go through and answer as many questions as possible over the next hour, or a little bit more if we also have it so we hit a little more, or get a little bit more of our goal as we go through here. Okay, let's start off. Matt's got the only question that's in the chat room right now, so we're going to start off with Matt's question. Hopefully more people write questions. Otherwise, first it would be a very short show here. Has the Walt Disney World stopped selling passes? So Walt Disney World currently is not selling any annual passes. They most likely will start it up again sometime in the near future. However, due to the fact that right now the parks are insane. Walt Disney World is absolutely insane right now. There are so many different people who are going to the parks right now that I don't think people are fully comprehending how busy Walt Disney World is. A lot of people keep on saying, oh, Disney's going down, like they're losing all this business. I haven't seen it at the park. In fact, I've seen nothing but higher levels of crowds, and I don't think I've ever seen the parks this busy, this consistently. I've never seen it this crowded this many days in a row. It has been busy literally every single day since January 1st. Like, since the start of the year, every single day is another busy day. And because of that, I think they're going to start selling annual passes again sometime in the near future. However, due to the fact that it is so busy, I don't think it's going to be as close to the near future as I hope it would be, because I know a lot of people who want to buy annual passes again. But because of how crowded the parks have been, they don't really have the need to sell new annual passes, mainly due to the fact that it's tough even now for an annual pass holder to get a park pass every single day. Now, in the year 2022, the current year that we're sitting in, I've missed going to the park 2 times, and both those times, obviously, because I couldn't get a reservation. But both of those times, there's been other times where, like a few weeks ago on a Friday, I couldn't get a park pass, 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 couldn't get a park pass. And then literally the morning of, I was able to get a park pass for that day. And there's only one park that was available, and I took it. So the parks are a lot busier than people say that they are. A lot of people have been talking about how, Disney's been losing all this business. They have not. I mean, if they have, I don't know where all these people are coming from. They're all jumping over the fence or something, because there are so many people at the park right now. It's kind of crazy. So right now they have stopped selling annual passes. I'm hoping sometime in the near future we will see it once again. Yeah, you can only get the Pixie Pass, which is like the lowest of the passes. But if you want like the good passes, you can't really get anything else right now. I don't think the reservation system will ever go away at this point, and I'm still sad about it. The problem that most people don't realize is if you go back in time, if I could turn back time, a lot of people have been going on and on about how disappointed they are that they're doing this reservation system, and because when the parks reopen. However, if you go back in time to 2019, they made the announcement in 2019 that sometime in the near future, at that point they said in 2023-ish, that they're going to be going to a park reservation system. Where in order to get into park, I'm about to sneeze. Ooh, baby. Excuse me. Whoa. Excuse me. The sequel. They had made an announcement back in 2019 that they were going to be going to a park reservation system sometime in the near future. However, they decided when the pandemic happened that it would be a better idea to actually start that park reservation system earlier than what they had originally intended to do, because they're going to be lower crowds, so it's going to be easier for them to fix all the bugs. So unfortunately, this reservation system, a lot of people think it was created specifically to keep the crowds down after the parks reopen, but in reality, they actually had made an announcement about this back in 2019. So this actually was a planned thing before. Like, this was not I can't get comfortable today. This was not a planned thing because of COVID. This is actually a planned thing beforehand that they were actually working on. So, the reservation system, unfortunately, is going to be here forever and ever and ever. I just wish that they would put into mind that there's people like me out there who used to go every day before the pandemic, and they still go every day after the pandemic. So for me, it's, like I said, there's only been 2 days in 2022 that I've not been able to get into the parks, and that's better than in 2021. 2021, I think there was like 10 days that I couldn't get a reservation, which was brutal. Let me tell you, it was brutal for me to not go to the parks 10 days while I was actually in the state of Florida. So, yeah. All right, let's continue going through. Again, we're doing an Ask the Expert segment tonight, so if you guys have any and all questions about anything and everything Disney, make sure you throw those questions into the comments below. We're going to be answering every single question over the next hour. If we get more YouTube subscribers, we will be going into extra innings. You can ask questions about how things work, how attractions, the histories of attractions, whatever you want to do. Anything and everything. Let's keep on going on to here. Same as Disneyland stopped selling passes. Yes, Disneyland is still, unfortunately, not doing the passes. I can always make a reservation after like 4 p.m., even on the worst days. And unfortunately, on the worst days are usually the days that I'm working. So if I haven't got an annual pass, I go to work at 4. So it's, yeah. If you could add a movie sequence to Fantasmic, which one would you add? If I could add it, we don't talk about Bruno. No, I was singing that song before the show started. If I could add a movie sequence to Fantasmic, what would you add? Oh, that's a good question. Okay, Herbie the Love Bug. No. Although that would be cool. I think it'd be cool to do a Step in Time / It's a Jolly Holiday segment from Mary Poppins. I think a Mary Poppins segment would actually be really cool up on stage. They should do a Mary Poppins show, like a live action show where you could watch like Mary Poppins, and they could have like at one point they jump down and they end up like in a different world. Like they could have it so the set changes so it looks like it's the animated world. That would be really cool. That would be cool. I'm gonna say Mary Poppins. I don't know why, because I'm sure there's other animated films out there. Like a Moana section would be really cool because you've got the water. A Moana, and then you could have the mountain be Terrafiti. Like that would be really cool. Moana. I'm gonna say Moana. Now I'm looking around my condo here, seeing if there's any other. Humphrey the Bear. Humphrey the Bear's right there. I'm going with Moana. Moana is my final answer. All right, let's keep on going through here and answering your questions. Keep throwing questions into the chat room. We will keep on going through. Is Rise still a virtual queue? No. So currently there is only one attraction in Walt Disney World that is a virtual queue, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Blah, 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 which we talked about all last week. I have now gone on this attraction 10 times. I am still missing one song. I'm still missing Conga. But overall, it's an amazing attraction. If you've not had the chance to go on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, it is an incredible attraction that you must go on at some point or another. The only problem is it is the virtual queue, which is good. I do like the virtual queue a lot. However, at the same time, like tomorrow, I want to sleep in. However, tomorrow I also have Epcot, so I want to get over there before 1 o'clock so I can get into the virtual queue. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, let's keep on going through our questions here. How does Haunted Mansion work? There we go. Matt took the bait. Let's talk about the ghost in the Haunted Mansion. Let's specifically talk about the ghosts that are found in the ballroom sequence. So during the ballroom sequence, let's first off talk about some of the cool details about Haunted Mansion, because Haunted Mansion gets a whole lot of love from the Disney fan community. Everyone loves Haunted Mansion. I feel like that is actually a very true statement. I feel like almost every single person in the world loves Haunted Mansion. However, I feel like even though it is such an appreciated attraction, there are so many things that people still don't appreciate about this attraction. So let's talk about Pepper's Ghost. So the ballroom sequence is going to be broken up into 3 different levels. Let's make it so the levels are right here. This right here, this is going to be level 1. Here, actually, you know what? This is perfect right here because we got 3 things here. All right, so we got 3 things here. We got level 1, level 2, level 3. So the Pepper's Ghost is kind of the same way that it works when you are driving in your car late at night and you look in the rearview mirror and you see a ghostly shape of someone else that you know and love that's sitting in the back seat, and you're like, how do they show up there? Because when the light shines on the mirror and it reflects on someone's face, it makes it so there's a ghostly appearance in that glass work. So this is how Peppers get ghost / how the ghosts in the ballroom sequence work. So we are sitting on this level right here. We are actually in the center level. Now, while you are on the Haunted Mansion and you pay very close attention, you'll notice that there are no ghosts that are at your eye level. All the guests are either above you or they are below you, but there are no guests in that section of the attraction that are in the same eye line as you. So no other ghosts are on level 2. You are on level 2. No one else is on level 2. Now, the reason that is because while you are on level 2, over here in front of level 1, you can see some ghosts. You see the ghosts that are sitting at the table. You have Julius Caesar there. You have Cleopatra there. A lot of different famous people are actually in that sequence, but that's besides the point. You've got the grandma from Carousel of Progress, probably the most famous person of them all. But you see all of them, and they are all in front of you doing their ghostly things. Apparently, they dance a lot. But what's going on is while you are sitting on this level, directly below you on this level are those ghosts. So those ghosts are behind a screen, and they are actually audio-animatronics that are found directly below you. So while you're on that attraction, you are literally sitting above audio-animatronics. Not only that, you will also notice that there are audio-animatronics or ghosts that are above you. So those are the ghosts that are on the next level up here. So there are ghosts that are above you. There are ghosts that are below you. All these different ghosts are actually audio-animatronics that are directly below you and directly above you. Now, if you look in front of you, there is a glass or a piece of glass that is separating you from actually getting into the ballroom. This is not because they want to have it so it stops you from getting to the ballroom, although that's probably wise. But the actual reality is when you are there, there are lights that are below you, there's lights above you, and they are shining different lights on top of these ghosts. This is causing it so when the lights are being shown on there, the reflection of those ghosts are being transported in front of you. So the ghosts that you see in front of you are actually images or reflections of the ghosts that are directly below you and above you. Hopefully that makes sense. The ghost, or the effect, is called Pepper's Ghost. Yale Gracie, who was one of the Imagineers who was in charge of a lot of the special effects inside of the Haunted Mansion, he was very well versed in different magician secrets. Now, one of the magician secrets was this idea of having it so when someone gets, like sawed in half, and you have it so the box is taken away, it's a similar effect where there are reflections, and that causes so it makes you think that someone's been separated, but in reality, they are still completely solid. Make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. That was a long answer. So keep on throwing your questions into the questions below. Have they announced when Fantasmic is returning? Fantasmic has returned over in Disneyland. They have just said that maybe sometime in summer it will be arriving here at Walt Disney World. However, my friend was staying at the Swan and Dolphin about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I can't remember when, but he was staying at the Swan and Dolphin a few weeks ago. And the one day they're like, hey, we should go over to Hollywood Studios tonight and we should watch Fantasmic. And I was like, oh, Fantasmic's closed. And they're like, oh, it was going on last night. And it ends up they are going through every now and then and redoing, or not redoing, but they're acting out Fantasmic. They're practicing Fantasmic late at night. So if you're staying at the Swan and Dolphin and you're facing towards Hollywood Studios, you can actually watch Fantasmic being played or prepared or whatnot. Yay. Oh. Okay, let's keep on going through answering your questions. Again, if you guys have any questions, throw the questions into the comments below. We're going to be going through and answering any and all questions. Is that your magic band? I want one so bad. Yes, this is the magic band that I got for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. So on the one side it says Press Rewind 2022. On the other side we've got Groot along with Rocket there. Come and get your love. It is so good. How many of the 50th anniversary blind pack figures do you have now? I literally counted about 5 minutes before we actually started the show. I'm at 15 right now. I am missing one from set 2. Series 2 is the one that I keep on posting pictures of on Instagram. I'm missing Minnie Mouse from set 2. And then I'm missing 4 of them from Series 1. Series 1 came out for like a week, not even a week. I only saw it in the stores one time and one time only. And I'm looking at them right now. They're like way over on the other side of the room. They're like, I can barely even see which characters they are. But yeah, I'm missing 5 altogether. So hopefully, today I was looking and I was like, do I want to buy one? But right now I only have a 10% chance of getting what I need because I'm only missing 1 from this series. However, the last 3 times I've purchased one, I've gotten one that I needed and 1 duplicate. So even if I did purchase one, I feel like maybe luck is on my side. Because if I buy 2, maybe I have like a 1 in 5 chance. I don't know. Math is hard. All right, let's keep on going through and answering your questions here. Remember when they used to paint when they used to hide paintbrushes on Tom Sawyer Island for fast passes? That was fun. Do you guys remember that? Did anyone out there ever do the paintbrushes over on Tom Sawyer Island? I went over there so many times. I absolutely loved it. There was probably, I would say, at least 20 times that I found the paintbrushes. So the Tom Sawyer Island usually opens up at 10:30 in the morning, and then what they would do is the park had already been open usually for about an hour and a half at that point. So if you went straight there, you could get a fast pass for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad or Splash Mountain, or if you talk to the cast member, you usually talk your way into getting one of each. Or you could even do what I did on multiple occasions and just walk up later in the day and say, oh, here, I found an invisible paintbrush. And they're like, yeah, I've never heard that one before. Here you go. Here's some fast passes. when they started doing the Fast Pass Plus over on your phone, when they started doing that, then they got rid of that idea of doing those Fast Passes because it was paper Fast Passes they would be handing you. I absolutely love Tom Sawyer, or I still love Tom Sawyer Island, but I absolutely love doing the paintbrushes. It was a great little callback too to the idea of like whitewashing the fence in Tom Sawyer. But for those of you guys who don't know, what they used to do is every day they would hide 5 paintbrushes, and depending on who hid them, which cast member was actually working that day, some of them would be extremely easy to find, and some of them would be extremely difficult to find. One time I went over there with a guy who I know who does a Disney podcast in the UK. He was out here. He sent me a message. He said, "Hey, do you want to go over to Tom Sawyer Island with me right when they open, and we can go run around together?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's great." I was like, I've done it so many times. I know where like all their hiding spots are. So we were out there, and we ran around the island. We looked in all the usual spots, nothing. Then we went to the other island, went around, nothing. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like maybe they didn't hide them today." So we were out there for about an hour. And then we came back to the dock, and I talked to the cast member. It was this girl who was, on the boat, and I was like, "Did anyone find the paintbrushes today? Like, did you guys even hide them today?" And she's like, "Yeah, we hid them." I was like, "Has anyone found them?" She's like, "No." And I was like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "I know for a fact there's 3 that I can see." And I was like, "What?" And I looked around for like another 10 minutes, never could find any of them. I don't know if that girl, to this day, I still don't know if she was messing with us or if she was just like the world's greatest hider of hide and seek. Another thing we did actually one time in 2011 on my birthday, it was one of the greatest things I've ever decided to do on my birthday. I want to do this again. Actually, now that I think about it, we have to do this again. If anyone's interested in this, send me a message because I think it'd be so much fun to do this again. On my birthday, 2011, I had it so I got like 10 people together, and we played a game of capture the flag on Tom Sawyer Island. So we had it so we hid flags on both islands, and then we split up into 2 teams. You didn't tell either team where the flag was hidden, and then both teams had to try to get it. And it was typical capture the flag rules. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. And I lost, but it was still so much. They should have let me win on my birthday, but I lost. But it was a lot of fun to just kind of run around the island. And I chose the wrong, like I should have claimed the one island, but I said, "Oh no, I'm going to do the fort," because I had the best hiding spot for the fort, and we were out there for probably 2 hours before anyone found a flag. And it was actually a little kid found my team's flag. I hid it under the bridge when you're walking across the bridge, like literally, like, so you didn't have to go into the fort at all. It was like literally right there. But I figured no one's going to think like that. And at one point, I was coming back from putting someone in jail, and I was walking across, and all of a sudden there was like this little kid who like looked on the bridge. She's like, "What's this?" And then the other person on the other team was like, "Oh, that's mine." I'm like, "No!" And that's how we lost, because some little kid. Oh, that little kid. Sometimes I stay up at night with his face etched in my mind. Have you heard anything about the new scenes in Finding Nemo? I cannot wait for it to reopen. I have been avoiding everything about Finding Nemo. I do have park reservations for the very first day that Finding Nemo, the brand new musical, will be debuting next Monday, I believe it is. I think it's Monday. But I do have reservations for Disney's Animal Kingdom on that day. And my thought right now is I might wake up a little bit earlier and go watch the show, film the video, and then my YouTube video won't be going live at the usual time of 10:45. But instead, I'll come home, I'll edit it real quick and post it, because I think I have to work that day. So I'll post it before I go to work. So hopefully we can be one of the first, if not the first, YouTube channels with that video up. So that's my plan right now. We'll see. But I cannot wait. I've been avoiding everything about the show because I just, like I said, I'm one of those people, because I'm so close to Disney. Like literally, like, if you joined us at the start of the show, we could hear the fireworks at the start of the show tonight. Because I'm so close to the parks, anytime they have something new, I avoid it like the plague. Like Cosmic Rewind, I had no idea about anything except for the fact that I knew there were 6 songs, and I knew what the ride vehicle looked like. And that was the only thing I really knew about the attraction, because I want to be surprised, especially since I can experience these things immediately when they first open up. So my plan is to to continue, making sure that I don't see anything. Hey, Justin, how you doing? Have you ever been successful when trying to remove the sword and the stone? Yes. Oh my gosh, you're not even the person who talked to me about this the other day. The other person's in the chat room right now, right? Oh, Lauren just left. Lauren wrote to me literally the other day asking about that. And so I did. So back in the day, I successfully removed the sword and the stone, but I do have a reason why. So when I was on my college program, do we have a map of Magic Kingdom up here anywhere? We usually have a map of every park around here. There's Epcot. I don't think I've got a Magic Kingdom one near me. I know I moved some stuff over there earlier today. Unless Epcot, we have a lot of Epcot. There's 5 Epcot maps. They're all different ones too. But that's besides the point. Okay. So you can picture this in your mind because we all know Magic Kingdom well enough. So you've got the Sword of the Stone right here. Okay. Yep. All right, Sword of the Stone's right here. And then right up here's the carousel. Down here we've got the castle, and we've got Sir Mickey's along with Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. At that point it was called Tinkerbell's Treasures. Tinkerbell's Treasures and Sir Mickey's, they both have a little bit of like shade right there. So what we used to do as custodians back in 2004 was they used to have the show that you would actually have Merlin the Magician come out, and he would choose the temporary ruler of the realm. He would come out and he'd do a whole little spiel, and then he would choose one person in the audience to come up and pull the sword out of the stone. They couldn't do it. And then you go, oh, I have that selected on Bodyguard, because the person he would usually choose was some big buff guy, like who looked like he was worked out all the time. I was chosen one time, not because I was buff, but because I knew Merlin. And then after that, they would choose a child from the audience. So one time I was there and I was talking to Merlin, and Merlin chose me to pull the sword out of the stone. And they did it as oh my gosh, you're a temporary ruler of the realm. The way the show actually worked, so right now they have it so you can pull the sword out every now and then, but the reason you can pull the sword out is not because of the way that people think it is. We've talked about a little bit in the past about how it's like every 1,000 tries or something like that, which is partially true, but at the same time, if you wanted to, or if the cast members wanted to, you could pull off the sword literally every single time that you go up there. So there is a magic button that actually has it so you can pull the sword out of the stone. There is only one magic button in the entire land, and the only way to get there is by going upstairs. So it has to be a cast member that knows exactly where to go, where to look, how to do it, and they could actually do it. So after watching the show about 20 or 30 times, that's when I realized where this magic button was, and I was like, oh, haha. But at the same time, cast members aren't really supposed to go up there, so unless you work the show. So yeah. Okay. Will you be at the let's do this question first. Will you be at the D23 2022? I tried to get tickets and they sold out too close. Well, there's still the individual day tickets, but I wanted to do all 3 days, and those tickets sold out right away. I don't know. I want to go out there, but at the same time, I don't know. I haven't gone to the last 2 D23 expos, and at the time I was really bummed, but then afterwards it's like, well, it's fun to be at, but at the same time, it wasn't the end of the world for me not to go. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. Keep on going through and asking as many questions into the comments below. We are going to keep on asking questions. We have another half hour. Of course, like I said, if you guys get us more YouTube subscribers as we go on here, we will be going into extra innings and answering more and more questions as we go through here. So far, we've gone up a total of 0 subscribers since we started half an hour ago. So hopefully we'll get 1 or 2 or 17 more. When does Nemo open? Let's look up the actual date. I've got a park reservation. I want to say it's Monday, because I've got Epcot tomorrow, Epcot the next day, Animal Kingdom the next day, and then I think it's Animal Kingdom is the 5th day. We'll look up my park reservations right now. I'm almost positive it's Monday, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Maybe. Come on, hurry up. You're holding up the show there. Reservation system. Making a reservation for an annual pass holder? Click here. Da-dum-dum. Oh, wait. Epcot. The 13th. June 13th, which I believe is Monday, right? Yeah, Monday. So Monday, June 13th is going to be when Nemo opens up. So Monday, most likely our video will not be going live at 10:45 like it usually does. It'll most likely go on a lot later. All right, let's go to our next question here. I'm going to get a drink real quick too here. Tell us more about those chicken tenders you had. I am intrigued. Well, first off, I had a lot of people who wrote to me today about these chicken tenders because the official name of them is called If You Had Wings, because there was an attraction that ran from 1972 until 1987 called If You Had Wings. It was where Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin currently sits. I had so many people today writing to me saying, those aren't wings. I know they're not wings, but that's the name of them. The name of the wings is If You Had Wings. They are chicken tenders, but If You Had Tenders was not a Disney attraction. So that's why they didn't name it If You Had Tenders. It's called If You Had Wings. And that's just my side rant. I've had to explain this to like 10 different people today. I was like, guys, I did not name this dish. If you have a problem with me called If You Had Wings, take it up to Disney. I just ordered it and ate it. Wait, but the chicken tenders, they had a Caribbean jerk blend on them. So they were a little spicy, but it wasn't like overly spicy. And yeah, they were good. If you guys did not watch my YouTube video, I did a YouTube video all about it. It was my first like food review ever about Disney. I spoke more about the old attraction than I spoke about the food because I'm not a food person. I'm like the furthest person from a food person. I eat like the same meal every day. So when people ask me like, oh, can you tell us about this kind of food? I'm like, I don't know, it's yummy in my tummy. Is that good enough for you? But yeah, so they were good. They were like a Caribbean jerk blend, and that's about the biggest length. I brought some barbecue sauce in case I didn't like just the taste of it, but the taste of it was fine enough. I never had to dip any sauce on it or anything. But yeah, it was good. It's one of the 50th anniversary snacks. So if you didn't know, around Walt Disney World, they have several different snacks that are specifically for the 50th anniversary. And that's why this one is called If You Had Wings, because it's a callback to an old attraction. They have several of these different named things that pay tribute to Disney history. This is just one of them. So that's why it was called If You Had Wings and not If You Had Tenders. That's, all right, let's keep on going through here. Let's see. What's your favorite interaction you've had with a character, face or fur? Ooh. Oh, let's tell the story. Let's tell the story about Aurora, because Aurora went down in my book in 2004, and then she finally came back in like 2012. But there was a time where Princess Aurora and I did not get along at all, and I will tell you that story right now. This is one of my favorite. First off, let's also point out, when it comes to interacting with characters, I go beyond what a normal adult would ever do, and I go beyond what a normal child would ever do. I will talk a character's ears off, and I know enough about the characters that sometimes I like try to play a contest with them to see how well they know themselves. So I'll just sit there and I'll gab away. If you've ever been with me at the park and seen me with the character, you guys know. But I had my friend Catherine not that long ago. Not when I say not that long ago, it's probably like 6 or 7 years ago. Her and I met Chippendale, and when we met Chippendale, we were with Chippendale for a good 5 minutes. And afterwards, she's like, "Oh my gosh!" She goes, "Usually you just walk up and take a picture and leave, and you're over here dancing with them." It's like, yeah, why wouldn't you? So I try to get the characters out of their comfort zone. But we're going to tell two stories. First story is the story of Aurora. I'm almost positive I've told this story on here before because I think it's a hilarious story. 2004. Actually, Catherine was one of the people who were involved. I was on my college program. Catherine was on the college program with me. Her and I still to this day like best friends. And then our other two friends, Aaron and Billy, we still love them. I do love you, Aaron. I know Aaron watches sometimes later on. Hi, Aaron. If you're watching, I don't know if you will be. Billy, I highly doubt Billy even knows that I do this anymore, or even knows that I ever started doing this, because I started this years. Anyways, this was besides the point. It was Catherine's last day on the college program. What she wanted to do was, more than anything, she wanted to have it so the four of us, because we were really good friends, wanted to have it so the four of us would go up to Cinderella's royal table and have a meal. So we went up there. We got the reservations months in advance, and we were up there, and Princess Aurora comes up to us. Keep in mind, we are all four of us are college program. We're all custodians in Fantasyland. So Aurora comes up to us and she goes, "Oh, hello. How are you doing?" My accents are going to be terrible, but just stick with them. She goes, "How are you doing today?" We're like, "Oh, good. How are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, good. Where do you hail from?" And we're like, "Oh, we hail from here." And she goes, "Oh, you work here?" And we're like, "Yeah." She's like, "What do you do?" And we're like, "We're custodians." And she goes, "Oh." She was done with us. She was like, "Okay." And she's like, "I got to go to the next table." And she left. She left us. Like, all of us are looking around like, what? And I lost all respect for Aurora that day. But that's also the day that I gained more respect for Mary Poppins than I ever knew that I could, because Mary Poppins was the next character to come over to our table. So Mary Poppins comes over and she's like, "Oh, hello, how are you doing?" And we're like sitting there talking to her, and she's like, "So where are you from?" And I'm like, "We're from here." And she goes, "Oh, what do you do?" And we're like, "We're custodians." And she goes, "Oh, God bless your little hearts. If it wasn't for you guys, we'd swim around in rubbish." And I'm like, "Oh." And then she's like, "Princess Aurora." Princess Aurora. And Princess Aurora like turns around, she's like, "Yes." She goes, "Princess Aurora, have you met my friends here?" And she's like, "Yes, I have." And she goes, "Did they tell you what they do?" And she's like, "Yes." And she goes, "Did you thank them for that?" And she's like, "No." And she's like, "Princess Aurora, come over here right now and thank them for it. If it wasn't for them, we'd be swimming in rubbish." Like, yes. So Mary Poppins went way up. Aurora went way down that day. But then, like 8 years later, Aurora, flirted with me. So I was over it then. My other one is, one of my favorite things to do is if you go to the character dining meals, and this is something that I've only recently started to do. 2010, I think, was the first time I started to do it. In 2010, two kids that our family used to take care of, they were down here on vacation. One just graduated college or graduated high school, which is insane. But they were down here, and we started interacting with Mickey and Minnie and all the characters at Chef Mickey's, and trying to get them like sit down and have a meal with us. And Minnie Mouse was with us for a long time at that interaction, like a long time. So since then, it's become like a tradition of mine that if you're at a character meal, you try to get that character to sit down. And I have had Mickey Mouse sit down at our table at Garden Grill more times than I can count. Like, I have almost every single time I've been at Garden Grill, I've been able to convince Mickey to sit down. Not only that, I've actually had Mickey one time, his character attendant's like, "Okay, Mickey, you gotta keep on coming." And Mickey's like, oh. I'm like, whoa, Mickey, who's the boss here? Are you the boss or are they the boss? And he's like, "Yeah, that's right." I was like, "Maybe you should fire that person." And he's like, "Fire." So yeah, I don't know. I love interacting with the characters. I absolutely love interacting with the characters. Most people my age do not. Most people are like, "Oh, let's get the picture and leave." I like to just sit there and joke around with them. And I also, a few people I know who've gone with me for the character interactions, they've pointed out to me, they're like, "Well, it's probably nice for the characters to have someone who will have a conversation with them, because most characters probably are like, 'Oh, hi, Mickey,' and then they leave." So yeah, that was a very long answer, but that's my answer. What is Tron going to open? Tron is going to open up hopefully sometime. We don't have an official date right now. The answer that they are giving us is sometime in 2022. We just don't know when in 2022. So hopefully sometime in the near future. They have started to test the ride vehicles out on the track, which is giving us hope. However, the area in front of the attraction still has a lot of work to do. So hopefully sometime in the near future. We just don't know exactly when it will be. Have you ever played foot golf at Oak Trail? I have, actually. Ironically, I have. I had a lot of fun playing golf at Oak Trail, but at the same time, it's a very weird experience because you're playing foot golf. Okay, so how Oak Trail works. Oak Trail, by the way, for those of you guys who don't know, is one of the golf courses that's on Walt Disney World property. Oak Trail is a 9-hole course. Foot golf, however, is an 18-hole course on the same exact course that people are playing golf on. So for every full course or full hole on Oak Trail, there are 2 holes for the foot golf. So the real golfers seem very irritated with the fake golfers who are literally just kicking balls. I find it hilarious. I've only done it once. I do want to do it again because I found it hilarious the entire time I was out there. I had a lot of fun when I was out there. We did it, actually, I think we were there the first day that foot golf ever came around at Disney. We heard about it, and it was my friend Alex and I were like, oh, we got to do this. And I think we did it the very first day. And it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. If you've never done foot golf, it's worth doing once just because I think it's a funny thing to do. What is the most magical thing that happened for you this week at the park? Ooh, this week at the park. Ooh. Does getting Guardians 2 times count? Was it 2? I think I went on twice this week. Yeah. Because that was pretty magical. I went on Wednesday, and I also got on Sunday, right? Yeah. Wednesday and Sunday. I also got a reservation on Saturday. I just couldn't use it because my callback was after I had to go to work. But yeah, was that the most magical thing? I'm trying to think of if there was any big standout moments this week at the park for me. Oh, I had one of the security guards that follows me. That was cool. I was getting my bag checked, and he saw my camera stuff, and he goes, are you do you do any YouTubes or whatever? And I said, oh yeah. I said I dabble. I didn't say dabble, but I said, oh yeah, I do. And he goes, what's your name? And I said, Brent Dodge. And he goes, I watched your video where you raced the monorail. So that was pretty cool. That was I think that was within the last week. It might have been the last 2 weeks, but we'll pretend it was this last week because that made my day. Anytime that people like come up to me and recognize like my work, I always appreciate that. I really appreciate that. So if you ever see me in the park, say hello. It's fun for me. It's a lot of fun for me. Because sometimes I'm just like walking around. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a picture of this tree again. Someone just had. It should have been if you had wings tenders. Oh, ice cream. I love ice cream. I don't even know what that comment is in regards to, but I love it. Are you excited to see Lightyear? Yes, I am so excited for Lightyear. They have a preview over at One Man's Dream, or Walt Disney Presents right now over at Disney's Hollywood Studios. That preview blew me away. Like, I was excited about it before that, but after watching that preview, I was like, this is going to be an amazing film. So I really cannot wait to see. So Aurora's a snob, but she lived as a nobody for 16 years. That Aurora, yeah, that Aurora was, yeah. I just ended up crying when I meet the characters. That happened a lot this last time. Speaking of golf, which mini golf is your favorite? My favorite mini golf course is probably Fantasia Gardens, or Gardens. The one with the Fantasia characters. There's Fantasia Gardens. There's the Fairways. Fairways is a lot of fun too. Actually, all 4 of them I absolutely love. I think all 4 mini golf places are incredible. I'm actually going there tomorrow for one of my friend's birthdays. I just don't know which course we're going to yet. But I think all 4 courses are amazing. I've done all 4 courses literally hundreds of times. Like literally, I've probably spent over $1,000 playing mini golf at Walt Disney World because I love. If you've never done one of the mini golf courses at Walt Disney World, you are missing out. They are so much fun. I think for me, it probably goes Fantasia Gardens, then the Fairways, and then winter, and then summer. And sometimes it goes summer, then winter. No matter what, those two are at the bottom. The other two are always on the top, and the other two switch sometimes too. Okay, you have both platforms. Thanks, Matt. Do you have any information about the train tunnel in the Tron area? Do you think it'll be like Disneyland with dioramas in the tunnel? No, there's no way. So the tunnel area, if you've ever walked on the trail that used to go from Toontown to Space Mountain, does anyone remember that trail? I love that. That was one of my favorite trails. I'm a huge sucker for like walking trails. I don't know why, but I just always like a good walking trail, especially like a quiet one. If you ever watch my Instagram stories on like Tuesdays, usually Tuesdays, if I go to Magic Kingdom, I usually take the long walk back because I just love that walk. And I talk about how much I love that walk in my Instagram stories. And I always answer some more questions over there. But the trail that used to go from Toontown to Tomorrowland, it was just such a nice little trail. But it's a very short trail. And that's going to be the same location. That's going to be where the tunnel's going to be going through. So in reality, that tunnel's probably, I think the whole train might not even fit inside the tunnel at the same time. Like I feel like the front part of the train might be exiting while the back part of the train might be going in. That could be, I could be wrong, but I just have a feeling that it's going to be a very short tunnel. It'd be really cool. I would love it if they had dioramas. It would be cool if they continued that tunnel all the way through and made it so it was like a longer thing. The only problem is when it comes to Disneyland, the spacing behind Tomorrowland and where the train goes, those buildings or the diorama that you go through is actually part of the different buildings that like for Space Mountain and stuff. And so it makes sense. But for Walt Disney World, it's kind of an open area. So it would be tougher for them to build a bunch of buildings to hide it, if that makes sense. But I would love it if they had that. What is better, Ellen's Energy Adventure or Guardians of the Galaxy? Guardians of the Galaxy. Don't get me wrong. I love Universe of Energy. I personally love Universe of Energy. I think it's a great ride. However, it is really cool. Guardians of the Galaxy is just a great thing to do. Oh, you ate the same thing every day, ice cream. That is true. That is very true. I didn't have ice cream the other day, and I felt so lost. Like I was wandering the streets, unknowing who I was. What is the best place to get ice cream on Disney property? No Way Jose. Beaches and Cream. Hands down, without a doubt, best place in the world to get ice cream. That's not even like me being exaggerating at all. Best place you can get ice cream anywhere in the world. Beaches and Cream, a No Way Jose. Mark my words. Now, here's the other thing that we should talk about with the No Way Jose is because a lot of people have been bringing this up to me saying, oh, did you hear they got rid of the No Way Jose? People have been saying this for like 2 weeks now, but they've been saying it before I had a No Way. Like I had a No Way Jose after people had started saying that No Way Jose's were gone. I'm like, I literally had one yesterday. Like, I now I'm going to have it in 3 days from now. Like, so I know there's a peanut butter shortage, so maybe now they don't have the No Way Jose's, but as of like a week ago, No Way Jose's were still going strong. But if they might have it, so you know, who knows? What about the other Aurora story? Which Aurora story? Which other Aurora story? Do you have the Swan boats in Magic Kingdom? Why did they get rid of them? No, I was not born by the time they got rid of them. The Swan boats departed about 6 years before I was born. I'm trying to remember. I think they left in 78 or was it 75? I think let's look this up here real quick. Magic Kingdom Swan boats, because I'm drawing a blank on. Oh, they went till 1983, so I barely missed it. The August of 1983 was when it closed. So it closed 7 months before I was born. So I never had the chance. The main reason they got rid of them was no one was really going on them, and some people were complaining because it was literally just took you around, and the boats would crash a lot. So the boats, unlike things like the Liberty Bell, which is on a track, the Swan boats were actually completely driven by the driver, and there were times where swan boats would pass other swan boats because some people were taking too long on the swan boats. So they finally got rid of the swan boats because of that. Love that shortcut. That was a great shortcut, wasn't it? I'm assuming you're talking about Tomorrowland Toontown. So excited for the Wish, but the Star Wars themed bar is going to be amazing. You have to have at least one drink deal. Okay, we'll make that. We'll do that. I'll have the water. It could be like Oga's Cantina. Oga's Cantina has some great non-alcoholic drinks. For those of you guys who don't know, I can't even remember the last time I had an alcoholic beverage. It's been a long time, but yeah, Erica, if you want me to, I will have a drink with you on the Wish. I cannot wait for the Wish. Oh, I cannot wait for the Wish. I was looking today, so we can start booking like restaurants and onboard activities and different things like that right now. And I just want to be I want to be on a cruise, like period. Like I just want to be on a Disney cruise. It's been killing me. How many times have you done the kitchen sink? Oh, I've done the kitchen sink twice. The second time I did it, it was me and 3 of my friends. And we said, okay, we're going to each have 2 scoops of ice cream. Or we're going to each take like a quadrant because there's 8 scoops all together. And my quadrant kept on having strawberries like ooze in. I hate strawberries. I actually hate strawberries. The taste and the texture. Ugh. It's disgusting. Anyways, I was like, okay, I don't like the strawberry stuff. So, but we were determined we're going to finish this. So we finished it. And then the strawberry taste was so strong in my mouth, and I was so disgusted by it. I washed it down with the No Way Jose. That is a 100% true story. I have 3 witnesses that can actually vouch for me on that. It was me, Alex, Caitlin, and Becca. Right? We actually were talking about this. So Caitlin was in town not that long ago, and we were talking about it with her husband, and we're like, oh yeah, and we're like, who's the 4th person? And it was a person that none of us have seen in years and years and years and years and years. When is the Wish set sail? So the Wish is actually right now, it is going to Germany. I think literally like as we speak, it is going down to Germany for the final, like handing over the keys, like, as if there's like one set of keys to start the ship. But they're literally going from the Netherlands right now to Germany right now to change hands and have it so Disney takes full operation of the ship. And then that's going to be going from there over to America, where it's going to have some final preparation stuff. And then after that, it's going to be setting sail at the end of July / mid-July. It's like in about a month. They're going to start doing some like preview cruises, media cruises and such. I've not gotten to the media cruise. Oh, I want to be on a media cruise so bad. But yeah, I will be going on in 102 days, I think it is. Let's pull up the stats. The worst part about this, I'm sure some of you guys probably know this, because if you've done any Disney cruises in the past, you probably have downloaded the Disney Cruise Line app. And when you do the Disney Cruise Line app, it's so frustrating because there's nothing really that you can do on this app except for just like wait for your cruise to happen. But once you do that, so right now we've got 102 days, 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 44 seconds, 43 seconds, 42 seconds, etc., etc., etc. I cannot wait. Oh, I really cannot wait. I just want to get on a cruise so bad. I talked to a few people about this over the last few weeks. The most frustrating thing that I've ever gone through in my life since writing this book right here, since writing From Screen to Theme, which was and when I say frustrating, I mean frustrating in like a joking way. When I was writing From Screen to Theme, I did not live down here. And it was so frustrating to write a book about Walt Disney World without being in Walt Disney World constantly, because all you want to do is be at Walt Disney World when you're writing about Walt Disney World. Like when you're surrounded by Walt Disney World constantly in all your free time, I just want to be down here. Same thing's happening to me right now. I'm writing the book about the cruise line, and so I'm constantly being surrounded by the cruise line information, and it just makes me want to be on a cruise so bad. It's driving me up a wall, like absolutely driving me up a wall. All right, let's go to our next question here. Oh yeah, this is when she flirted with me. She was going to dump Prince Phil for me. It was a great day. Great day. The Disney Dream left Port Canaveral this week. I know. I was so mad. I was trying to convince some friends to have it so we would go on there, and nothing. Make sure he doesn't fall overboard, Eric. I will throw a life vest on him. I think we were more concerned about Eric falling down. That was your favorite out of state son has to look after your. I don't like this conversation where it's going. Okay, anyone else have any questions out there? Otherwise, we are going to wrap this up. We'll take one more question. Unless we got any new subscribers, we'll check the subscriber count right now here. But we'll answer one more question before we wrap up, unless we have another. Oh, we got one more subscriber. So we will take two more. Thank you to subscribing, whoever subscribed. But we will take two more questions. And then if we get another subscriber, we'll take 3 questions, etc., etc., etc. But right now, you guys can earn yourself 2 questions. So next 2 questions will be our final 2 questions, unless we get new subscribers in the meantime as well. Also, if you guys didn't see my stuff on Instagram, today is potentially the day where we might be going, to hit 450,000 views of all time over on my YouTube channel. So we'll see. All right, how many ships have mini golf courses on it? There's only 2 with them on there. However, there's an exception, but I wouldn't say it's a real thing. But there's so the Fantasy and the Dream both have not cruises. They both have mini golf courses on them. And then on the Magic and the Wonder, they have they've got contests, how they have those different events that go on throughout the day. They have different ones on both those ships where you can go and play mini golf, but it's not actually playing mini golf. It is literally you going to a small little green and putting that ball into a little hole and trying to win the contest. They also have one where you can they have a chipping challenge as well. But yeah, the only 2 that really have it is the Dream and the Fantasy. Currently, both of them actually. Where is it at here? I was hoping it would have more than that. It's that purple section in the bottom there. But that is Goofy's Mini Golf. So the Goofy's Mini Golf is there's 2 options on each hole. There's a Goofy option and there's a Max option. The Max option is the more logical option. It's more of a straight shot. And there's a Goofy option. When we went on the Disney Dream in November, there was 5 of us. And I said, let's go play mini golf. And while we were playing mini golf, I made the rule. And I kind of hope that this is the rule that everyone should play with, because I think it's more fun, is on the first hole, everyone has to start with Goofy. You have to try Goofy, and that's just the bottom line. You're not allowed to do anything besides the Goofy spot. So everyone starts off trying to do the Goofy way because the Goofy way is more difficult, and then whoever is last place on that hole, on that specific hole, on the next one, they are allowed to shoot Max, but everyone else has to shoot Goofy. But a lot of people tie as last place, they get an all shoot from Max, the Max spot. And then every time you finish a hole, whoever has the worst score gets to shoot for Max. Everyone else has to shoot Goofy. I think it's a lot more fun that way. It's more competitive, too. I still beat them. I'm too competitive for my own good. But yeah, I think overall, I personally love the mini golf on board. When we did the Fantasy, we did that preview for the Fantasy in 2012. In 2012, we did that preview, and that was one of the first things we did. We were talking before we got on the ship, and the things that we all wanted to do more than anything was we wanted to do the aqueduct, and we wanted to do the mini golf. Those are the 2 big things were like, we have to do these two things. And I was not disappointed at all. All right, this is possibly going to be our last question of the night, unless we got another subscriber in the last few minutes here. So if you know anyone who wants to subscribe, or might, even if they don't want to subscribe, if you have someone who you can potentially get to subscribe, have them subscribe, and we'll get to a few more questions here. I rode down Main Street, USA in the horseless carriage. It was great. How many cars, buses, etc. still exist? There are still roughly, and I say roughly because they come and go, but there's roughly about 6 or 7. So you have the horseless carriage, or you've got a yellow one, you've got a blue one. You also have the Main Street fire truck, but it's not really a truck. That is currently sitting inside of the Main Street Fire Station. So right now it's not taking guests around. I don't think it's going to be taking guests around anytime in the near future. However, it is operational. It can take people around. Then there is another one, which is the actual trolley that pulls guests. That's 4. Then there's the double-decker bus. That is my personal favorite. I give anything to be up on the top floor, looking out above the streets and sitting on that front part and just looking at the castle while you go through it. That's hands down one of my favorite ways to do it. And then there is also a green car too. I've only seen the green car out a handful of times. So there is 6 for sure, but I feel like I'm probably missing a few as well. If you ever go to the park on a busy night, which, like I said earlier, most nights are now busy, you can exit the park almost every night. Not every night, but almost every night right now. You can exit the park going behind the Casey's Corner / Emporium side of the street. And while you're going back there, you can actually see most, but not all, but most of the ride vehicles on the right-hand side. The double bus that used to be at Epcot, right? No, the double bus that you can find at Magic Kingdom is an actually completely different bus than the one that used to be found at Epcot. The one that was found at Epcot was actually enclosed, while the one here is open. So there was closed windows inside the Epcot one. There was also, actually, now that I think about it, there was also an open one too, but it was red. This one over here is green. And the green one's actually been around since opening year 1971. There are some pictures. If you go through and find some historical pictures of Magic Kingdom on opening year 1971, you can actually find some pictures of the double-decker bus on it. One of my favorites. One of my favorites. All right, let's check our subscriber count, see if we've gone up any. Cross your fingers. Hopefully we did. And we did not. Okay, so that is going to be wrapping up our show here. But however, thank you guys for the people who did subscribe tonight. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Not only do I greatly appreciate them, I greatly appreciate every single person out there. As always, tonight's show was sponsored by It's All About the Mouse Travel. Make sure you stop by. It's allaboutthemousetravel.com for all of your Disney travel needs. All of their services are absolutely, positively, 100% free. So make sure you book with them for your next Disney vacation. I'd like to thank everyone out there for joining us once again this week. Please keep on spreading the word about the Wednesday show and From Screen to Theme, and invite anyone and everyone to join the group right here on Facebook or over on YouTube as well. If you have not ordered your copy of A Closer Look Yet, or guess what, A Closer Look Yet, make sure you go visit the Shop Now button to order your books, and we will ship that book out to you as soon as possible. As always, remember that anything can happen if you let it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us once again tonight. I hope you guys all had a great time. Until next time, we'll see you guys all a little later. Goodbye. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Are they gone? Are they gone? Oh, good. My cheeks are just killing me. I just can't stand